Welcome to Ruminations. This is your basic introduction to the everyday kind of meditation that we want to introduce. Ideally, if you can do it every day, 20 minutes or so would be perfect. Longer would be even better. Or as frequently as you can manage. But it's good to just get the basic introduction to it and then see how you connect to it. Meditations are not as fun as the weekly rumination tasks that we are going to talk about. They can be more interesting, more engaging, more fun stuff happening. Meditations by definition are very boring. They are designed to be that way. We'll talk about that. But they can be very, very powerful. This is the backbone of any spiritual tradition. What is fascinating is that around the world, there are all kinds of traditions that developed over time, over hundreds of years, thousands of years at times. But there are some kinds of traditions that generated in very different forms some meditations that allow us to, and this is the backbone of spirituality, to come into the here and now, to break the links with the thoughts and the emotions that occupy us and consume us on some level. And breaking that to come into the here and now and to continue going deeper into who we are. Because first you break the links with thoughts and emotions, then the deeper sense of, the deeper issues that we have, and then the deeper sense of self that we carry around us. It's ultimately an illusion. Who I am, Dr. Kamran, this, that, whatever, this ego and self that we create, which you slowly start detaching from it, and as the surface self starts to go away, the deeper wisdom and the deeper voices start to come, and you're freed from things that occupy and consume us on the surface. It can start from stress management, and just we feel good and we feel relaxed when we meditate, and take you all the way down to the mystical depths that spirituality around the world, not religions, spirituality has been primarily about. Now the fascinating thing, as I was saying, different areas in the world, different times, it developed in different forms. We are not talking about spiritual or religious practices right now. We're not talking about rituals either, just meditations, visualizations, journeys, hypnosis, all kinds of prayers, service in the church, the Islamic prayer. These are all religious rituals. Meditation, by definition, is breaking the link with any kind of thought and emotion that is consuming us, coming into the here and now. It usually has a very simple object that you try to bring all of your focus, all of your attention to. And that can be a sound, like mantra, zikr, chantings of different kinds. That can be the beat of a drum, a sound. It can be a visual, like in the case of Tibetan Buddhists, the mandalas. Uh, in bhakti, it's the face of the teacher, perhaps. It can be a physical sensation, like breathing. We will work with breathing. It can be a movement, like the head movements, the whirling of the dervishes. Tai Chi is a movement-based exercise. It can be postures, like in yoga. All kinds of different forms that it developed in. The point is that it's always a very simple, repetitive, usually thing that you focus on. That's the object of your meditation, to the exclusion of all thoughts and all emotions that get in the way. And that is the crux of it. So we will deal with it. These days mindfulness is really in. It's basically the gist of what meditations offer. Uh, Focusing on the breath, let's start working with it. The idea is the physical sensation of the breath happens in the here and now. Thoughts exist in time. Words, Sentences, giving meaning to sentences, language, all of that is over time. In the here and now, there is no thought. There is no, so you break out of that unconscious uh, stuff that mind gets involved in, whether it's thoughts or emotions or deeper concepts and things that we get attached to, or the sense of self that we get attached to. You start breaking the link to that in the here and now. There is no thought, there is no idea that exists in the here and now. You stay with the physical sensation, in our case, of the breath. The breath you can feel around the nose, in, out, or the rising and falling of the chest. So, rising, falling, rising, falling. And the idea is you observe the physical sensation of the breath, totally focusing your attention on that. Now, the interesting thing, the reason why meditations are so damn boring is because it's by definition, by design. You want it to be that way because the mind doesn't want to stay with the breath. It runs in all directions, and that is what you want. You want to see where it goes. Wherever it goes to, yesterday. Oh, when she said this, I should have answered her. Why don't I answer these things when it was time? I should have said this and it would have been so good. The moment you realize, oh, I was supposed to be meditating, you detach from that and you come back to the breath. But before you come back to the breath, just observe where the mind had gone. Just turn around, observe where it had gone, and bring it back to the breath. And then it goes to, oh, my back is killing me. Oh, I don't think I'm sitting right. Fine. Observe where the mind was, bring it back to the breath. And then it says, well, oh, this is ridiculous. I don't think this is working. This is just really, really stupid. Maybe I need to do a different form of meditation. Blah, 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 blah. The mind is constantly chattering. The moment you realize, not focusing on the breath anymore, come back to the breath. Yeah, bring your attention back to the breath. And then it goes off to what I need to do tomorrow. God, I really need to get done with this stuff. I don't have time for this in any case. Notice, turn around, bring your attention back to the breath. Very briefly, what is happening in the process is when you observe where the mind has gone, you are automatically, you detach from where the mind, where you were, where the mind was, and you observe. So you're strengthening the observing self. You're learning to detach from your thoughts and look at yourself. And it's usually the everyday stuff in the beginning. Then, as I said, the deeper stuff, then what our ego and self is defined by. And we start detaching and we start observing how we are in relation to that. And in the process, you start separating and detaching. And the more you detach from the surface stuff, the more you connect to the deeper things. That's where the insights and the wisdom comes from. You don't need to think about any of that. Just stay with the basic principle. Stay with the breath. Something comes up, you observe, you come back to the breath. The mind goes somewhere else, you come back to the breath. The principle is stay with the breath. Don't get caught up in, oh, brilliant insights. I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling one with the universe. No. Stay with the breath. Interesting story about a Buddhist monk, practiced all his life, finally has this glorious image of the Buddha appear in front of him in meditation. And he gets so excited, he runs off to his teacher and says, oh, I've got it. I see the Buddha in all his glory in front of me while I was meditating. The teacher looks at him and says, just go back to the breath, it'll go away. These are all distractions. The mind creates distractions, wonderful distractions, one with the universe. Not important. Stay with the breath. Stay with the breath. Detach from wherever the mind goes. Keep coming back to the breath. I want you to turn this off. Practice. Within a few seconds, I promise, the mind will go somewhere. If you're observing it closely, it will go somewhere. It can be gone for 2 minutes. Notice, the moment you notice that you're doing something else, turn around, observe where the mind was and bring it back to the breath. Gently but firmly, like you would do with a child who runs off to step into a puddle. You just gently hold their hand, bring them back. Don't get angry. Don't start analyzing where you were. That's more the mind getting involved. Just observe, bring it back to the breath, and keep doing it. Good luck with that. It's a damn boring thing. Again, weekly tasks would be more fun. This, however, is so much more important. This is so much more intense. It can take you very, very far if you stay with it. So please, good luck with it. If you have questions, leave comments underneath. We will, by design, I think, because we're doing it outside of religion, we will remain a small community. Leave comments. Most of you know me in any case. Send me a message, chat, whatever, and we can talk about it. So please get feedback, stay with it, good luck with it. The hardest thing with these meditations is staying with it and disciplining yourself to do it every day or often enough. Good luck with it.